Thank you VicTsing for sponsoring this video and giveaway. Please stay tuned to the end of the video for giveaway details. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those new here, hi, my name's Jenny and I'm a second year family medicine resident. So on Instagram, on Insta stories actually, I've been answering a lot of your guys' questions, and it's so fun because I feel like I'm getting to know you all and I don't know, feeling that bond and that sense of community, which is awesome. The only thing about that is that it takes me forever to answer these questions for you guys, and so I thought I'd make a YouTube video on the most commonly asked questions. So last night I went to Instagram and told you guys to ask me anything. So I'm gonna answer the most commonly asked questions first, and if we have time then I'll pick all the interesting ones. So all of you guys want to know, how is Wyatt doing in daycare? If you guys watched my previous video, I talked about how we had to put him in daycare because Stan is working full-time now. He's not quite adjusted yet. He still cries every time, at least every time I bring him to school. And he doesn't eat much during school at all. I don't know why. He's just like a very picky eater. And so at home, we try to feed him as much as we can before bed, but he still doesn't get enough food, so he wakes up multiple times during the night to feed. And it's just hard because this is coming from a little kiddo who has been sleeping through the night since he's 5 months old. So it's a struggle, but we are slowly getting there, I hope. So, and I've been doing what you guys said, you know, the drop-offs are really quick. I tell him I love him. I tell him to have fun and that I'll see him after work and I'll pick him up and then I leave, but he still cries and it sucks. Another common question that I ask is, when is it a good time to have a baby during med school or during residency and whatnot? And in all honesty, there's no right time to have a baby. It's always going to be a bad time. But to let you guys know the structure of medical school and residency, first year you study in a classroom, and then the first summer you have it off. So I think you have like a month or two off, month and a half maybe. And then during your second year, you are also all class-based learning. And then during that second summer, if you take your boards early enough, then you might have a week or two off. During your third year, you're doing clinical rotations. So you're out at hospitals, at clinics, and so you will not have those summers off. You go straight from third year into fourth year, where you will still do clinical rotations, but you're also doing audition rotations at hospitals that you hope to work at eventually, in your subspecialty that you decide that you want to do. And you go on interviews during your fourth year, and so there's no summer that year either. At the end of fourth year is when you graduate, and I believe there's about 6 weeks before you start your residency. During residency, there is no summer at all, or there's summer, but there's no summer break. So you just go on from first year to second year to third year. And that's about it. I guess for me, how I did it was I was pregnant early enough during my fourth year that no one knew that I was pregnant during my interviews, and then I gave birth 2 weeks before I graduated, and then 6 weeks before I started residency. And another question I've been getting asked a lot is if Stan and I are ready for baby number 2. And I keep telling you guys that, you know, I am very nervous to be pregnant again because I hated being pregnant. There's some people that are just like glowing and beautiful and they thrive as being pregnant. That was just not me. I was miserable. I hated the way I looked. I knew I was growing this beautiful thing inside me, but I just, like, I was just, I don't know, like every time I looked in the mirror, I just felt so sad. I felt really depressed. I think I had really bad postpartum depression that was never really addressed. My relationship suffered during that time, and I suffered during that time. I don't know, I did not like it. Stan and I talked about adopting a lot. We talked about possibly getting pregnant again. I don't know. I don't know. And in residency, there's really not a good time. You don't really get maternity leave. You get to have 3 months off, I guess. But that time that you take off, you're going to have to make up at the end of the year. If I were to get pregnant again, I would definitely take at least 2 months off, because I think I went back to work when Wyatt was, I went into residency when Wyatt was 8 months or 8 weeks. Continuing residency for 2 months longer in the grand scheme of things is not that long. I feel like you're going to regret not spending time with your kid just because you want to finish residency a few weeks earlier. You know, so I don't want to regret that. A lot of you guys are also asking about my gap year. For those who follow me a long time, I told you that after I graduated from UCSD, I took a gap year and then went to medical school. And you guys were saying, like, should you do that or shouldn't you do that? What's the best way? Blah, blah, blah. For me, I think it just ended up happening that way, because what people need to understand is that when you apply to med school, it's actually a year-long process. And so if you don't have all your ducks in a row, like you don't have your MCAT, or you took your MCAT and you don't like your score, you don't have your prerequisites, you don't have your application filled out, your personal statement, your letters of recommendation. If you don't have all those set up, then they won't process your application, and you can only apply during a specific time during the year. And if you don't make that deadline, then you just apply next year. So if you would have wanted to get into med school right away after you graduate, you would have had to apply early on in your 4th year. So in your senior year or end of 3rd year, and then during senior year, that's when you do all your interviews and hopefully you'll get in and then go to med school. For me, I just didn't feel like my application was competitive enough, and I didn't have my shit together, basically. I did not have my shit together at the end of 3rd year. So that's why I took a gap year. And during that gap year, I was going on interviews, I was doing secondaries, I was working 3 jobs. One was a histology tech. And so I was still learning medicine and volunteering and all that stuff. And so that was one way I was still building my application. Next question. A lot of you were also asking me, why did I choose to be a physician over, say, a PA or a nurse practitioner? So I think I would have to go over the schooling with you guys so you understand. PA school is the shortest. You do your undergrad and then you get your bachelor's and then you apply to PA school. And the totality of specifically PA school is 2 years. You learn 1 year in a classroom and the 2nd year is clinicals, and then the rest of it is on the job training. So say you want to be a PA in surgery, you'll get trained in surgery once you get that job. If you want to be a dermatology PA, you'll get trained on the job. With nurse practitioners, you go through your undergrad, get your bachelor's, then you have to go into I believe it's 4 years for nursing, and then another couple of years to be I should look this up. I don't even know. I just know it's longer. So to be a nurse practitioner, you have to get your RN, and after the RN, you have to do 1 to 2 years of nursing experience, and then complete a 1 to 3 years master's in a nursing specialty. And then for physicians, you have to, after you get your bachelor's, I'm not counting any of that, you go to 4 years of medical school and anywhere from 3 to 6 years of residency before you're actually practicing solo. And I know as a nurse practitioner, you get more autonomy, as in you get to make more decisions on your own. Awesome things about PA is that you can jump around in different subspecialties and work with different providers. And that's really cool if you don't know what specific specialty you want to go into. For me, I knew that I wanted to use OMT, osteopathic manipulative treatment, with my patients in the future. And the only way I was able to do that is through becoming a DO physician. Another question I get asked very frequently is, do I regret ever being a doctor now, especially being a mom? No, I don't ever regret being a doctor because I love what I do and it brings me a lot of happiness to be able to interact with my patients. I am sad when I have to miss spending time with Wyatt, especially because he's growing so fast. But you guys have to understand that this is residency, and residency is not going to last forever. The crazy hours, working 80 hours a week or 100 hours a week, it's not going to last forever. It's not the life that I will personally choose to continue. The amazing thing about this job is not only do I love what I do, I get to help others, I get to return to the community, but also that the job security. I feel that I will never have to worry about finding a job or getting paid or doing those things, you know? Like, I know that in the end, I will always be able to provide for Wyatt. So another question I've been getting asked is what I plan to do after residency. I think at the beginning I was considering doing a fellowship. With family medicine, you can do like sports medicine, high risk OBGYN, emergency medicine. There's many different subspecialties that you can go into. I think I wanted to do sports medicine because I was hoping that Wyatt can start playing a sport like basketball or something like that, and it would be just really cool working with sports teams. And I think that osteopathic manipulative treatment goes hand in hand with things like that. Another one that I considered was high risk OB. I wanted family medicine because it encompassed a greater range of people, a variety, but I wanted to do high risk OB because I could possibly do C-sections and gyne surgery. But after I did many rotations in OBGYN, I realized that I was not interested in C-sections or gyne surgery. So I probably won't do that because I can still deliver babies as just a family medicine physician. And then the last one, emergency medicine. I liked it because emergency medicine is like shift work, like a nurse schedule, work 3 days, work 4 days, work a week and get a week off, things like that. So the schedule is alluring, but at the same time, I don't like emergency medicine just because I feel like I don't get the end story. Like a person comes in and they're hurt and you do all this workup, but you really don't ever know how the patient turns out, and there's not much continuity in that. So as of now, I think that after residency, I'm just going to start working. The ultimate goal is to own my own practice and work for myself. I'm actually really considering just doing an OMT practice. The pay is good, the lifestyle is good, and so I guess I can tell you guys more about that once I get further into my 3rd year and that's becoming more of a reality. Alright guys, I think I'm going to end the video here. Before I go, I would like to thank VicTsing for sponsoring this video and giveaway. I was actually in the lookout for a diffuser where I could use essential oils, and when they contacted me and told me they want to sponsor this giveaway, I was like, yes, please send them my way. And the reason why is because I've been trying to save money and I always burn candles in my house just because I love the way it smells. And so it was getting kind of expensive when it's $10 a candle and I go through that in like several days. With the diffuser, it lasts a long time. The one that they sent me, the reservoir lasts 3 hours, and I just put a little bit of essential oils in there, and it keeps the house smelling fresh and clean. Their VicTsing also has many other styles on Amazon, some with bigger reservoirs where the mist would last anywhere from 7 to 14 hours. And a crazy story, your memory is attached to a smell. So my friends and I always thought that if we smelled the same thing every day while we studied, and then we smelled that same thing again when we took the exam, then it would help us recall all the things that we did when we were studying. So for example, during my MCAT, I would eat McDonald's #2 with the Sprite every day. I know, don't judge me, but basically every day when I was studying for my MCAT. It was so bad that the lady at the drive-thru gave me one of those punch cards that I could get a free meal after a certain amount of meals, and she would say, "Bye, see you tomorrow." And then during med school, I had this lemon essential oil, but basically I would smell the lemon when I was studying, and I would smell the lemon during my exams right before I put it on my hand, and smell my hand right during my exam. And the girls that were in front of me, they would always spray lavender on themselves because lavender is calming, and they did that before every exam. So I thought that was really cool, a reminder of my experience in med school. So to qualify for this giveaway, 1, you have to be a subscriber. 2, comment down below what your favorite essential oil scent is. And number 3, click on the link in the description box to sign up for the giveaway. And a winner will be chosen. And also, if you guys are interested in purchasing any of the VicTsing products, there is 30% off in the description box down below. So thank you guys all for watching. Until next week,